Hello everyone, I'm Sophie Hall and we're going to be doing some very infamous Am I the Asshole stories where I'm going to give you my unedited, raw opinions on what I think about these Am I the Asshole stories. Ready? Let's go. Am I the asshole for leaving a date and not paying for her food? So I, 21 male, recently went on a date with Steph, 21 female. We met on Tinder and messaged for a couple days before Steph asked me out for a drink, which I agreed. We hadn't spoken too deeply, mostly about her music and hobbies, but I figured it better to meet in person and see if there's a vibe rather than text and potentially waste time. So we meet up and things are okay at first, but got pretty hostile quickly. As I mentioned, Steph asked me out for a drink and she picked the place. About 20 minutes after we got there, she started to complain about the place non-stop. She didn't like her drink, she didn't like the staff, she didn't like the decor. I asked if she wanted to go someplace else. Where we were, there were dozens of other places within a 5-minute walk. I asked what made her pick this place. She said she'd been here before a few times. I thought it was really weird she was complaining about a place that she had picked, and she's been here before. She knew what to expect. I asked if the place had changed recently and she said no. Sort of a red flag. But I let it slide and we continued talking and things did get better. We connected on a few things and spoke for about an hour or so. I thought things had turned around basically. Alright, first of all, why is she complaining about a place that she has already been to? Okay. Makes me think she was trying to hopefully someone was working there and wanted to be seen with him. I don't know. Let's move on with the story. I asked at this point if she was hungry and she said yes. I said I knew a good sushi place just down the street if she wanted to go there. I suggested sushi because in her bio on Tinder, it mentioned she loves sushi. And we had texted about it earlier that we were both fans. She agreed she'd like that. I picked up the bill for the drinks and we went to the sushi place again. Things were going well for about 20 minutes and then her attitude changed. She asked me why I brought her here to this restaurant. I didn't know what she meant. It wasn't run down or cheap. It was a nicer sushi place, if anything. She explained she thought it was weird if I brought her specifically to sushi because she's Asian. I said I suggested sushi because she had sushi in her bio, and we'd spoken about it as well. She insisted it was because she's Asian. I said to her, this isn't even the same kind of Asian you are. This is Japanese and you're Vietnamese. She then said it's still Asian, so it's the same thing. I said no, it's not, but she insisted it's Asian, so it's the same thing. At this point, I was pretty done with Steph. I thought I'd just finish the meal, leave, and wouldn't need to see her again. Oh my God, she sounds like she's bipolar, annoying. I'm annoyed with Steph at this point, okay? Vietnamese, Japanese, whatever she is, annoyingese. I was pretty quiet and she asked me about school. We hadn't really talked about it much, although I knew we're both in university. I said I'm doing my undergrad thesis now that I'm in a final year. She asked me about it and I said I'm basically doing interdisciplinary studies focusing on philosophy, law, and mixing some technology in there, as I'm writing about oneself online and the legality of online identity. She began to laugh and said she never heard the word interdisciplinary before. I must have made it up to sound smart or something. I pretty much ignored the insult and she said she can just Google it if she's not sure what it is. She kept giggling about how I made up a word. She said she was getting a real degree. I asked what? She said literature. I snapped back at this point and said I was surprised she had such a weak vocabulary if she thinks I'm making up words and is a lit major. I probably shouldn't have been sassy like that, but I was done with this girl at this point. She said again, at least she has a real degree. And I asked what I'm going to do after graduating. I said probably law school. She laughed and said I was wasting my time with more school. She had a job lined up at her dad's company doing HR or something like that. I can't remember what she said exactly. She started laughing about how I'm probably broke and have a mountain of debt, while she has a nice job lined up. At this point, I got up, I went to the front, paid my portion of the sushi and left. I didn't say I'm leaving. I didn't say anything to her. I just got up, paid, and left. About 5 minutes later, she texts me asking me where I am. I text her saying I left. She starts blowing up my phone saying I'm rude and I left her there and she doesn't have the money to pay for sushi. She doesn't have the money? I said, not my problem. I thought I'm the broke one. I would have said the same thing. She is calling me, texting me, I just block her and go home. Am I the asshole for leaving her without a means to pay? Listen, first of all, ladies, if you go anywhere, you always have to have your own money, okay? So if anything were to happen, anything were to arise, you can leave, you can pay by yourself, you can go. However, we're talking about his perspective on this. I would have left her too. He was actually very polite to have even paid for his portion. So he had paid for their drinks, he paid for his portion. She was the one that was rude and sassy. If she wants to talk about someone being broke, she should have brought her own money. So no, you are not the asshole. I would have done the same thing. All right, here is another am I the asshole? Maybe. Am I the asshole for not inviting my sister to my wedding? First of all, your sister must be a puta if you don't want her to come. Anyways, let's see. My wedding is coming up in a few months and I decided not to invite my sister. This has caused a lot of drama in my family, with some members calling me petty and others saying I'm justified. Here's the thing. My sister and I have never had a great relationship. She has a habit of making everything about her, and over the years, she's caused a lot of hurt that I've just let slide for the sake of the family's peace. The final straw was about a year ago when I got engaged. Instead of being happy for me, she made several rude comments about my fiance, calling him boring, not good enough for me. She even joked at a family dinner that he'd probably bail before the wedding. Wow. I brushed it off at the time, but it really stung, and my fiance was visibly upset. Since then, I've distanced myself from her. When we started planning the wedding, I realized I didn't want that negativity on what's supposed to be one of the happiest days of my life. I don't blame you, girl. My parents are furious and say I'm tearing the family apart, but I feel like I'm just setting boundaries for my own happiness. Now, some family members are saying I'm being immature and should be the bigger person by inviting her, while others say they understand why I'm not. I'm second guessing myself because I don't want to ruin my family relationships, but I also feel like my wedding day should be a positive and supportive environment. So, am I the asshole for not inviting her? First and foremost, this is your day. And if she can't even be polite and nice on a regular day, and she wants to talk crap about your fiance, imagine how she's gonna be on the day of your wedding. She's probably going to say awful things, try to ruin things, be rude about whatever she can possibly be rude about. And it's already a stressful day, and a lot of nice people, nice women turn into bridezillas on a regular wedding day. So you definitely don't want any additional stressors. And it's your wedding. And first of all, like, your family should be telling her to shut her ass up and be polite. This is your day. This has nothing to do with her. And if you don't want her to go, you don't want her to go. That's her fault for being ugly and rude and mean, you know? Normal sisters that get along well and have a healthy relationship invite their sisters to the wedding. So I say, no, you are not the asshole. I would have done the same thing. So these were my Am I the Asshole stories. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know if you like me doing these kind of stories. So that way I will continue to make them for you. Also, if you have your own Am I the Asshole story, please put it in the comments and I will give you my very own customized response, okay? Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.